What's up, guys? So it's been a while since I've done any type of Bed Wars commentary type video, and today I just want to talk about a few stories I've encountered over the last week or so. One, even including someone coming up to me and recognizing me as another YouTuber. Anyway, I'll get to that later. I've got a lot on my mind I want to share, so sit back, grab some muffins or chips. Chips always work. Alright, this is probably rude. I'll stop now so that you can listen to my stories. And let me tell you about how the last week or so of my life has been. Honestly, my week started off pretty good. I've been going to the gym consistently. I've been playing a lot of tennis and drums and a ton of other things that I enjoy. And I've been scheduling out my day, following through, executing on everything. And I've been super happy overall lately, which is super poggies. Yeah, that didn't last long, but we haven't got to that part of the story yet. First, we shall talk about my dog, Rocco, because everyone loves dogs. Well, I think so anyway. As you guys know, Rocco is quite the handsome little fella. I mean, just look at that face. Like, come on. I missed him so much. So, I've been able to spend a lot more time with him recently. The other day, we were just on a walk, and I think he literally met the dog love of his life. Yes, really. We were at a park together, and there was this other female dog in which Rocco seemed to have an instant connection with. Here's the thing, though. The owner of this other dog was eyeing Rocco and myself down the entire time and was just like watching us like a hawk, which I just couldn't help but giggle at, because I guess Rocco's kind of a big dog, but he's like just so goofy and friendly. So I was just like, okay, dude, I promise he's not gonna do anything. He's a good boy and he's trained. And I knew in the moment what would fix all of this: dog treats. So I got some out. It's the universal dog gift. And of course, literally only I would get into a situation like this where the owner starts going off about how this dog is on this special dog diet. And I was just like, oh my god, I'm not trying to feed your dog. Okay, I wouldn't give your dog food without your permission. I'm just trying to give my dog a good time because he's such a good boy, and just let them vibe out together. I was trying so hard to make this work because I've never really seen my dog as friendly as he was with other doggos this quick. Usually it takes him a little while to get comfortable around other dogs, but this was like instant for some reason. The owner kept on talking and giving me signs about how he wasn't comfortable with Rocco and how he just wasn't sure about him being so close. And right as I was reassuring him that my dog is well trained and is a good boy, may I add, his dog bites Rocco. Like right as I was saying this, his feisty little dog biting Rocco, nibbling him on the ear, and it was just instant awkward silence for like 30 seconds. We just stared at each other, and then he stopped talking about not being sure about being close to Rocco, and I was literally just like, O_O. And after that, I guess we just kind of pieced out, ripped Rocco's love of his life. It was nice while it lasted, though. At least they look cute together, chilling out in the grass. I mean, just look at their floofy fur. I wonder what a meetup of Rat and Rocco would be like. One can only imagine. Immediately after that encounter, Rocco rolled into a puddle of mud and it got all over his fur. I love this dog so much. So that was interesting. What else happened after that? Well, lately I've actually been really lucky to meet other YouTubers behind the scenes. Just like literally hang out, not focusing on like social media or any of that stuff, and just chill. I love working. I work a lot, I'd say, but it's really nice just to shut everything off once in a while. And I honestly recommend doing that if you've been stressed out or overwhelmed at all lately. Helps a ton. One other really weird cool thing that I did recently was go on an actual private jet. Yes, seriously. I ended up traveling to California, but I don't really know how I got in this position, but it was so interesting. Like, they didn't ask me any questions. Like, you know the process in an airport, you go through security, you do all of that. Nope, none of it. Just get in and go. No questions asked. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because while I was on the jet, I remember daydreaming, looking at the clouds, and they literally reminded me of, okay, back to Rocco. And I couldn't stop thinking about Rocco hanging out with Rat. So for some reason, I ended up coming up with this really cute hoodie idea for Bad and Rat. And the reason why I've been able just to produce like random hoodies or whatever I want takes a little bit of explaining. So let me explain. Let's go back like a year or so ago. I had this vision of a project called Paradigm. Fast forward to present day, and it's actually become a reality. I would say it has absolutely absolutely taken over my life in the best way possible. And that's why I'm sure most of you guys have seen that I've been promoting merch a lot more often on like social media and stuff. And on top of that, we recently got a whole warehouse that's even more massive than our previous space because we literally ran out of space. Anyways, what else have I been up to? I also wrapped my banana car. Yes, my banana car. I don't know why some of you guys make fun of me for having a yellow banana car, but I finally changed it. All right, I changed it to blue. Yes, blue, my favorite color. But I'm also not showing you guys any pictures yet because you're gonna find a way to make fun of me, and I'm just not gonna have that right now. I was on fire. Life is good. My momentum and everything was going to plan. I'm actually about to hit 6 million subscribers on YouTube, and I just got verified. Fucking finally! On Twitter, I am finally verified, and I hit 1 million followers on Instagram, and that's all sick and some amazing achievements, and then boom! I got hit by a bus. I broke all my bones and everything. No, I'm kidding. What really happened was, well, to be completely honest, my friends were having a party. Oh no, you can already see where this is going. And they were just begging me to go. And I kept telling them no because I was too cool and just making any random excuses. But they were so annoyed and didn't understand why I was making excuses. And they were all like, bro, we vaxxed. For context, we all live by ourselves. And in the moment, it was pretty hard to argue with that, which is pretty stupid on my end, if I'm being honest. So I went, not really understanding what I was getting myself into. Huge mistake. Not gonna lie, I was tweaking the entire time. Also, may I add, under the influence, which is probably one of the worst combinations. I didn't exactly have the time of my life, and here's when it gets worse. I'm literally in a crowd of people at this point. People posting videos and stories and the Snapchat and the Instagram, and oh no, it's a YouTuber's worst nightmare. How did I let myself get into this awful, down bad position? Down bad? Is that the right terminology? I don't know, man. So at this point, I leave, I call an Uber. I wasn't exactly able to mingle out there and have the time of my life with the mindset I was in. And I was just like, all right, you know what? This is an L, but sometimes you just move on in life. I woke up the next morning, hungover, just to see absolute hell breaking loose on my timeline. And I realized very quickly what had happened. If it wasn't already obvious, there were a lot of stories of me in that setting, and my Twitter was a war zone. So the first thing I did was delete the app, walk under a tree, lay down, and literally lay there for hours. I know it may seem like I'm joking about the situation, but I'm really not. It was pretty overwhelming, not gonna lie, to have so many people speak about you in that way online, especially when there's not really, understandably, you know, much context. But you know, it kind of was my own fuck up, which ultimately just sucked for a little. Shit got intense. I didn't think a bird app could make me feel as bad as I did, but you know, I mean, rightfully so. Every mistake, every accomplishment in my life in front of hundreds or thousands, or if not yet millions of people, just a tiny bit overwhelming sometimes. So that was a very, very interesting time in my life. So let's fast forward a few more days after that, because this is probably the most random thing that's ever happened to me, like ever. I was at this restaurant and this really, really weird thing happened. Like I said earlier, I was just enjoying my food, as you do, and this kid just kept looking at me. Now, usually I can tell instantly when someone recognizes me because it's just extremely obvious. They look away, they look back, they look at you, they make awkward eye contact, and they look away. Now, they probably don't think it's obvious, but it just happened to the point where, like, you know, if that makes sense. It's like the same pattern. And then usually what happens is they'll either say nothing at all and pretend like that never happened, or eventually come up to you, ask for a picture or ask a few questions, and it's really chill. However, this time was different. I noticed this kid who looked like he was about 14. Not I mean, by the way. Kept just staring and chose not to look away or make it subtle at all. And I was just like, Lamau! This is obvious. But he eventually did come up to me and says this, word for word, because I will never forget this. Are you, wait for it, badboyhalo? And I just start dying because I thought he was joking. I was just like laughing really hard because that's never happened. And he just stands there for a minute with a confused look on his face and just didn't say anything and was just like, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. And I was like, what? And he said, yeah, are you badboyhalo, right? And I sarcastically was just like, yeah, that's me, badboyhalo. And he was just confused again as to why I was laughing at first. And it was so weird in the moment because my friends were with me and they were just like, what is going on? And I swear, to this day, I have absolutely no idea whether or not if they were joking or if they were serious. They were just messing with me. Like, there's no way they were serious, right? I feel like Bad doesn't really like show his face that much. So how could this guy correlate meat. What? No. Was it on purpose? Either way, it gave me a really funny story, so I'm not complaining. I just want to know so bad. How do you mess that? Whatever, that's besides the point. I look nothing like Bad Boy Halo.